Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I'm Myrna Loy from Blackbright News, and today I'm reporting on Bill Cosby, no less. An 81-year-old blind Bill Cosby, who has been sentenced to 10 years behind bars for assaulting 50 and sometimes 60 women, majority of them white. And that's the nuts and bolts of the story. But what's really behind these accusations? There's a lot of things, really, because, I never just go with the flow, go with what everybody's saying. As some of you know, I was a victim of sexual abuse when I was 16. And if I need to recount that information, I don't need to look at it from a piece of paper. That's one thing. I can remember it exactly because I'm being honest. If you're not being honest, you're going to need to look at a bit of paper that is going to, so you don't make a mistake, so it can't be thrown out of court. That's the first thing. The most important thing, though, is, okay, a couple of them came through and said, oh, Bill Cosby gave me drugs and then he had sex with me. We're talking about the 1960s, 1970s, when Quaaludes were the accepted drug. It was a legal drug. It's what the college students used. It was equivalent to marijuana, and they all were taking it. We're talking about the beatnik era. For a lot of you, you're too young to know the beatniks. But the beatniks, that's what they were into. They were into Quaaludes and they were into free love movement. The free love movement was about having casual sex with whoever. There was no commitment. There was nothing. They had drugs and they had sex. And Bill Cosby was in that era. So, yeah, he might have given a couple of pills. He might have had sex with this woman, but it was the era. And if you don't know the era, and a lot of those people in the jury were so young, they wouldn't know that era. I doubt if they're going to do any critical thinking. I doubt if they're going to research that era to know what was going on at that time. No, they're going to use today's mandate and today's legislation to try and judge a man who was innocent at that point in that era, in that time and space. And you know what's going to happen? Years after he's dead, they're going to exonerate him and say, oh, we made a mistake. Similar to Emmett Till, the guy that got lynched and was murdered. And years after, the woman comes out and said, oh, I lied about it. The thing is that repercussions are so much more worse when a black man is seen to have said something undesirable or made any undesirable approaches to a white woman. White people know that. And that's why the majority of them were paid, because a couple of them have admitted it, to pull him down. So they've been paid to pull him down to create a public opinion jury. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what the truth is. Because the thing is, in a racist society, white people prevail. And yeah, they come out with the truth, and they know they're going to come out with the truth years and years later, but it doesn't matter because the deed has been done. Similar to Amber Geiger. She reckons she shot Botham Jean because he was in her apartment, even though all the evidence shows that she was beating down his door, they were having an affair, there was different mats in front of the door. But she's a white police officer. She probably thought, oh yeah, he's a black guy, he's inconsequential, they're going to believe me, I'm white, I'm a police officer, I'm going to get away with it, shooting a nigger, what difference does it make? So she shot him. Okay, she's lost her job. That is a victory, really, in today's times. But it just shows you the overwhelming evidence they must have had against her, that she could not have any, there was no support for her. She was shot him in his own bloody house. 26-year-old, dead. So similarly, Bill Cosby, he doesn't stand a chance in hell when over, sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 60. You know how the media sensationalizes everything. You know, and that's not to put down women, but you know what? It minimizes women who are genuinely abused and genuinely have been raped and who have genuinely got a cause for concern. It minimizes them and their story. When over 50 women come up and say, oh yeah, he assaulted me, he did this, he did that. It's not right. But we don't live in a fair world, do we? We don't live in a fair world. So what can I say? I don't know why they discredit him by taking back his honours. I mean, you know, there's nothing more fearful, they say, than a rich nigger and an educated nigger. They've got to bring them down. They can't be roaming the streets. They have too much power. And what I notice, especially in this society, is that even if you give black people millions and millions to entertain them, after they've done their job, they make sure they take back all that money in one way or another. If it's not false allegations, so they have to fork out for lawyers and goodness knows what else, they take it back in some other way. They'll bring them down and discredit them because they're not going to let them get away with that money. Oh no, they're not. So every rich black person you see, the men, you'll see that eventually they're brought down so that they can get their money back that they've paid them. The money that they pay them is only a loan. So it's no point running up your mouth and saying, oh, you know, they get so many millions, they get this, they get that. It's a bloody loan. Only they don't know it's a loan. They're so egotistical. They believe that they're good and they get that money and they're getting that money for their entertainment and their, you know, and going on the sports field or whatever it is they're doing. That's why they think they're getting paid, but they're not. They're getting paid to entertain, to take advantage of. They take advantage of the situation. When that person has outlived their usefulness, they find some way to discredit them and get back their money. So anyway, that's my morning rant. It's probably afternoon or evening when you're watching this. I don't know. But that's my little bit on Bill Cosby. I don't think I've missed anything. No, I haven't. Yeah, oh, yeah, I was thinking about his son, Ennis. I didn't even know he was shot and murdered, which under suspicious circumstances, and his daughter. There is conspiracy theories that it's because he was going to buy NBC, the radio station, and he's too big for his boots. But when you think that Bill Cosby, he was only worth 400 million, yeah, that's a lot for us, but NBC is 32 billion. There's no way he could have bought that. So there's something else that's going on here, something else that we don't know about that will come out in the wash eventually, maybe after my lifetime, maybe after yours, I don't know, but it will come out because there's some kind of vendetta against him. And I don't know whether it's just because he's worth 400 million. I don't know. That's a lot of money for a black man to be worth. But yeah, it could be that. It could be that he knows something. Some people say linked with the Illuminati. Some people say it's linked with the New World Order. You get all these conspiracy theories. We don't know what the truth is. The truth I know is that I believe he is 98% innocent, bearing in mind the time and the year that these things happened, because it was all consensual or pseudo-consensual. Everybody was taking drugs. No, not everybody. Everybody in that beatnik era where they used to go to concerts, they were all into it. Taking mandies, what they were called, mandrakes, taking it, and then having sex. It wasn't a big deal. It was called the free love movement. If you don't believe me, look it up. You young people, look up the free love movement. Look up mandies. Look up disco biscuits. Look it up if you don't believe me. Anyway, that's all I've got to say for now. Ciao.